Get to know the country where they lend out their own women. That's right, you heard it correctly. We're talking about a remote corner where the unusual becomes everyday, and where a practice as debated as it is intriguing comes to light. Wife lending. But don't think you can just show up and join the party. Today we're delving into one of the most mysterious places in America, Alaska. Think of it as a giant resting at the top of the planet. Picture Alaska as that fearless uncle who lives far away and always has the most incredible stories to tell. It's right there, next to Russia, separated only by the Bering Strait. So if you think your GPS is pulling a prank by constantly pointing you towards the extreme north, it's probably leading you to this frozen giant, where nature reigns supreme. Ever stop to think about how many brave souls call this place home, facing average temperatures of -24 degrees Celsius? Believe it or not, but Alaska is home to around 731,000 souls, a number smaller than the population of several big cities. Over there, space is so abundant you might not even hear a neighbor sneeze. In Alaska, bears and reindeer roam more often than humans in supermarkets, a real wildlife spectacle where residents soak up the splendor of nature, the stunning northern lights, and the incredible feeling of being at the top of the world. Living in Alaska comes with a price tag, literally, as the cost of living is high. The remote distance means products are pricier since everything is transported from afar. So, if you're planning on shopping there, be prepared to shell out some serious cash. Accommodation can also put a dent in your wallet, varying widely in price depending on location and quality of service, especially during the peak tourist season in the summer. English reigns as the official language, but don't be surprised to hear Russian, reflecting the historical proximity to Russia, or local languages like Yupik and Inupiat. We can't forget about Alaskanese, which is the English spoken there with a unique accent, loaded with expressions that mirror the wild and adventurous essence of this territory. But what happens to adventurers who are drawn to this scene, moved by the narratives of a culture where the sense of sharing is unique? Think about it. You and a friend decide on impulse to explore Alaska. You gear up, buy appropriate clothing, and dive into this journey that, in my opinion, is extremely audacious. Upon arrival, you're greeted by a stunning scenery, with snow-capped mountains and rivers so clear they look more like ice arteries cutting through the land. But what really shocks isn't just the natural setting, but how life unfolds so distinctly. Pumped with emotion, you think everything's going to be perfect. You start the climb, enjoying the view and landscapes without any complaints. But suddenly, a storm rolls in, bringing strong winds from the north that intensify rapidly, and you, somewhat naively, think this is just part of the place's normality. Suddenly before you stands a young woman of stunning beauty, with delicate features, expressive eyes, dark and silky hair, a breathtaking sight. She's an Inuit woman, part of a people whose stories you're yet to discover. In Alaska, traditions are as deeply rooted as the cutting winds of the north, and the peculiar custom of wife lending is just a small glimpse of that. And yes, you heard that right. But don't be fooled. This practice is often misunderstood, and in reality, it represents a system of deep cooperation and trust. So, what's the truth behind this tradition, and who are these people known for such a custom? Let's clarify. The Inuit are indigenous to the Arctic regions, stretching across Canada, Alaska, and Greenland, descendants of the Thule, who migrated from western Alaska around the 2nd century and spread throughout the Arctic, replacing the Dorsets, earlier Paleo-Eskimo inhabitants of the region. According to Inuit myths, the Dorset were described as either massive beings or, in less common accounts, tiny creatures. The Inuit surpassed the Dorset technologically, using dogs for transportation and possessing superior weaponry. Around 1100 AD, they reached the western part of Greenland and later spread eastward in the region. The first encounter of the Inuit with Europeans occurred in the 15th century, starting with French fishermen and whale hunters, and soon established commercial exchanges mainly focused on furs. These initial relations fostered cultural and economic transformations among the Inuit, who progressively adjusted to the new demands and European influences. During this early period, fur trade between the Inuit and Europeans stood out, altering the natives' traditional practices. As European colonizers advanced in the exploitation of natural resources, such as timber, it directly impacted the territory and way of life of the Inuit. forcing them to move northward in response to the increasing pressure of European colonial and commercial expansion. Let's delve into the question, do the Inuit really lend out their women? The answer isn't so simple. In Inuit customs, we find partner swapping or partner exchange, a practice that served to strengthen relationships and build trust among different families. This custom wasn't just a loan as we might imagine, but a complex cultural element. It was carried out in particular situations, often in ceremonies or specific agreements, carrying deep and symbolic meaning for the Inuit. Therefore, the idea that the Inuit lend their women is a superficial and mistaken view. This practice was actually part of a rich cultural system, with profound implications and meanings for those who practiced it. Believe it or not, Alaska holds surprises that go beyond the ordinary, putting it at the top of the list of the planet's most peculiar places. Let's dive into the 10 quirks that make Alaska a scene of wonders and oddities. Imagine a place where the sun doesn't set during summer. In Alaska, that's a reality, providing endless days where outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, and golfing are unlimited under a sky that never darkens. Alaska is a colossus. If it were an independent country, it would stand among the world's giants, with its landscapes ranging from snow-capped mountains to dense forests, a true spectacle of nature. But the surprises don't stop there. Forget conventional skiing. In Alaska, the extreme is surfing on waves generated by iceberg falls, a challenge that combines adrenaline and the freezing waters of the Arctic. And then, there's the celestial spectacle of the Northern Lights, a phenomenon that turns the night sky into a display of dancing lights, capturing the awe of visitors from around the world and illuminating the darkness with an extraordinary glow. In Alaska, wildlife takes on impressive proportions. The mosquitoes are so big that we joke they could be the state's official birds. Besides these giant bugs, the territory is home to Kodiak bears, among the largest in the world, dominating the landscape in their natural habitat. Specifically on Kodiak Island, these bears are the stars, with their imposing size making this place a destination both wonderful and intimidating for those seeking nature adventures. A notable curiosity of Alaska is its absence of rats, a rare thing in the world, due to effective pest control policies and its isolated geographical position. In Alaska, some people have the unique experience of living in floating houses, peacefully dwelling amidst idyllic aquatic landscapes. The state is also known as the land of volcanoes, with over 130 active volcanoes shaping its terrain and symbolizing the dynamic strength and beauty of the Earth. Wrapping up our list of wonders, Alaska presents a charming peculiarity, its own North Pole, where the Christmas spirit lasts all year round. This magical place, filled with Christmas decorations, specialty shops, and even Santa's residence, is a paradise for enthusiasts of this festivity. These discoveries showcase the surprising and captivating side of Alaska, often leaving us speechless. I hope this journey has been as fascinating for you as it has been for me. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our future explorations. Share in the comments which destination you'd like to explore next. Until our next adventure, keep exploring, questioning, and marveling at the extraordinary world we live in. Big hugs and thank you, friends.